In Phoenix's Game 1 win, Chris Paul broke a tie with LeBron James for the most playoff games with 20 points and 10 assists without recording multiple turnovers. CP3 shot 6-6 in the fourth quarter. That marked his most field goals without a miss in a playoff quarter in his career. Stephen A. Smith, take it away.
You know what time it is. It's time for this segment. It's Steven's A-list. I'm listing some of the top point guards in the history of the NBA. Max, I want you to listen closely to me, Max Kellerman. I want you to listen closely. This is not just about resume. Resume has something to do with it, but it's also how you run a team. It's floor generalship. It's leadership. The impact you have on others, not just yourself. So we gonna go to number 5 on the list. Give it to me right here. CP3, number 5 all time. I know he doesn't have a title. Damn it, he's only been in one conference title game. But everywhere he goes, teams get better. We understand he's a miniature dynamo. He's a floor general. He's an extension of the coach, okay? He's that cerebral with a J, with handle, with superb passing ability. Decision making. Obviously has him right there. I got him number 5 all time. Why do I not have him number 4? You know why. It's right here. Give it to me. Isaiah Thomas, that's why. CP3 doesn't have a national title in college. CP3 doesn't have 2 NBA titles in the history of basketball with the Detroit Pistons. Beating Jordan along the way on numerous occasions. Beating Bird, beating Magic. CP3 doesn't have that on his resume. Isaiah Thomas does. By the way, Isaiah Thomas is top 2 to the one and only Michael Jordan. He once said that to me a long time ago. I never forgot that. Let's go to number 3 on the list, please. Give it to me, the great one. Oscar Robertson, 1961-62. Only person to average a triple-double before Russell Westbrook made it an ordinary thing. Oscar Robertson did that. A career 25-point-per-game scorer. A career 9.5 assists per game scorer. A champion in 1971 with the Milwaukee Bucks, by the way. A 6'5" point guard who could rebound, who could assist, who could pass, who could score. The great Oscar Robertson belongs on any all-time great point guard list. I'll give it to him top 3, of course. Why can I not give him top 2? Because I'm not that old, that's why. I'm in this modern generation. And I know what this man right here does. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God ever created. Oh, by the way, his movement without the basketball compromises defenses extraordinarily well because they've got their head on a swivel, wondering where he's at, that he's opening up opportunities for so many other people. From the point guard spot, him affecting a defense, the way that he affects the defense is why you got to put Steph Curry top 2 all time at the point guard spot. But we cannot ever put somebody number 1 unless their name is Magic, the great one himself. Irvin Magic Johnson, a 5-time champion, a man that went to 9 NBA finals, who dominated the 80s. I'm talking about Showtime coming to LA. I'm talking about making a fast break popular. He had Max Kellerman getting on his treadmill or his elliptical machine, for crying out loud, because he said, I want to run and I want to fill a break whenever I want to play the game of basketball. Magic Johnson had us doing that. Magic Johnson made fast break layups in vogue. Magic Johnson made the no-look passes special. I know the Bob Cousy's of the world and others, but the Rick Barrys of the world and so many others with the no-look passes, the Pete Maraviches of the world and guys like that. But Irvin Magic Johnson, when you think point guards, you think about him first. These are my top 5 point guards of all time. Period.
Hold it right there. Hold it right there.
Just
stay right there.
Let's go.
I just want to know. This is your point guard list.
My point guard. My point guard.
Correct. So floor generalship, whatever that is.
That's right.
Like, this is your point guard list.
This is for me.
I just want to be very clear about it.
Yes.
It's perfect. I can't even argue. It's perfect.
Thank you very much. Take it away, Matt. Take it away. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Point to the perfection, Matt.
The only thing I can say, the only argument I can make is if you want to talk about LeBron James or James Harden, but I know you're not thinking of them like point guards. Magic is number 1. You could argue a little bit here. If Chris Paul wins a chip, he's a perfect point guard. Only thing he doesn't have is size. Otherwise, he does everything perfectly. I can't argue it. But Isaiah got 2 chips. You can't put him over Isaiah. Not only are those 5 the right 5, they're in the right order. I give it up when I give it up. That's all.
All right. We'll leave it
You
there.
got it right.
Okay. We will leave it there.
They
Stephen
do
A's list,
call me
perfect
Stephen
agreement.
Naismith.
Stephen Naismith.
Who are they? I don't want to meet they. I want to meet them. All right, guys. If A-Rod gets dealt and packs up, just where will that
Right,
You don't
it's not
give
a
a
hedge.
definitive take.
It is my definitive take.
Okay.
So we're clear, so that you're clear on it. Because if you're clear, maybe other people aren't. If you're not clear, is very simple. LeBron is hurt. He doesn't have the playoffs to prove that he's the world's best player as always. So the crown can be seen as up for grabs. We don't know who the best player is. And it's like Bob Gibson said about the best catch of all time, Hall of Fame pitcher for the Cardinals. He said it's like watching pretty girls go by. The best one ever is the last one you saw. And that's like the best player in the league right now. The best player in the league right now is the last one you saw. Right now it's KD. He just had that performance. Hard to imagine when you're watching that there's someone better. The day before it was Kawhi. Remember what Kawhi just did in a game 7? The day before it was Luka.
That. So today you're saying it's KD?
What the point is?
Because that's the question.
The question
is did KD convince you he's the best player in the world?
No. The whole point is that's up for grabs, and there are a handful of dudes competing for it. And by the end of these playoffs, we'll have an idea who I'll be convinced, likely, who the best player in the world is.
Okay.
Luka's not going to be playing anymore. It's going to be hard for him to prove it, but he played as well as anybody in these playoffs. Jokic has a shot. Let's see. He's the MVP of the regular season. Kawhi has been excellent. He has a chance. James Harden, if he gets back, has a chance. Obviously, KD. He's the best scorer on the planet. There are a handful of dudes. KD is one of them. And this morning, after watching him last night, he's the best catch. He's the prettiest one. He's the best player. And tomorrow, it'll be someone else.
Okay. So it changes every day for Max. It's
until the end of the
last pretty girl that he saw. So KD was the last pretty girl he saw, Stephen A. How about for you? Well,
he's the best in the world. But let me say this to Max Kellerman. Seriously, man, you need to stop being so weak with these kind of arguments. That's weak. Seriously. No. It's weak. And I'm going to tell you why it's weak. You didn't have any problem calling Giannis the best in the world a couple of years ago.
That was predictive.
Time out.
And even at the time,
No. At the time, you said he was the best. Now, I know you changed your mind. I know you changed your mind in 5 days, which I teach you about. But that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is you definitively said that's what he was. And you pointed to what you had seen over the course of an entire season. So what I'm saying is don't make the argument now, because I saw KD last night. Hold on. Because I saw KD last night. Now, if you say because of what I've seen from KD this year, or the last 2 years, or whatever the case may be, that was different. But to sit up there and insult basketball minds across the globe that call somebody the best in the world just because we saw them last night, that's not what we do. You know that's not what we do.
Now, let me be very clear. We can go back and get the tape on Giannis, on what I said about Giannis.
Okay.
That at the time was predictive. He was the MVP, and he was also great defensively, both ends of the floor. And he did it all year. And my presumption was he was about to prove it in these playoffs. But I said, here it comes. Here comes the playoffs. This is where we find out. The reason my rankings changed so much is because, as you would say, it was fluid. We were in the process. And why'd I even say Giannis? LeBron was hurt. Same thing. The injury to LeBron, to me, opened things up. Would it be Giannis? Would it be Kawhi? Would it be KD? Would it be this one? Would it be that one?
Okay.
And it wasn't Giannis.
Okay, I'm not going to let you chew up all my time. What I'm going to say to you, however, to remind you of it, is that Giannis was the best player in the world on the Thursday. They were up 2-0 against Toronto. You didn't even, and based on those 2 games along with everything else.
Correct.
So then he had a bad 2 games against Toronto, and Toronto tied the series 2-2. And you went from having them number 1 to number 5. That's a fact. So now that what I'm saying is it makes no sense. Now let me get to KD.
Perfect.
Here's why I tell you KD's the best offensive player in the world. There's no way to stop him.
Offensive or best player?
Offensive. And I would say the best player in the world because I think that what he does defensively is decent enough. You might find a better defensive player, but when you take into account how prolific he is offensively.
So you're making the argument, best player in the world.
I would make the argument he's the best player in the world, okay? Because I think that he has that kind of effect. This dude is efficient. He's a sniper. He's 6'11" with a handle. He's got a mid-range game that can rival anyone's on the planet. The guy's got long-range sniper ability. He's lanky. He's long. He can drive to the basket. He can defend. shorter guys. He can defend guys his size. Now, if you got big size and girth and all of that stuff, no, you put him on your hips. That'd be problematic because he's skinny. That's about the only thing you could hold against Kevin Durant. When somebody came to me and asked me, because I got a Get At Me segment on my show, Stephen A's World, and this lovely young lady called me to ask about LeBron compared to KD. And we all know that I got LeBron as a Mount Rushmore. He was one of the top three all time. Because his record is his record. But LeBron shoots 73% from the free throw line. Over the last 3 seasons, LeBron hasn't even hit 70%. KD is a career like 87, 88% free throw shooter. He hasn't shot less than 85% from the free throw line in his career. And we know what a shooter he is. The brother is unguardable. He is lethal. I told you years ago, Giannis didn't even belong in the same sentence as him. Now, I know KD may not talk like that, but I'm telling you, that's how I feel when I see him. He's just that prolific. And to think about the Portland Trailblazers and the situation that they're in now, let me remind everybody, the Portland Trailblazers were the folks with the number 1 overall pick. And they drafted Greg Oden out of Ohio State.
People are still
and
drafting
passed up
centers
on
first
Kevin
then,
Durant.
yeah.
And they said, that's why they still haven't won.
All right, look, everything you said about KD's offense is true. If you asked me, Molly, if the question was, who do I suspect is going to be the best by the end of these playoffs after watching KD do that? KD is very smart. He understood, wait a minute, I'm 7 feet tall, I can score from everywhere. He could even defend, he could pass everything. Why isn't he on a Mount Rushmore, right? Oh, I don't have the championships. That's easy for people to understand. Let me make sure I have great teammates so people can see me play deep into the postseason, so I have a chance to play in the finals, win championships. He did that. He did it again in Brooklyn. Even Harden goes down, Blake Griffin steps up, dunks all over Giannis. He has great teammates again. So we are going to continue to see him play throughout these playoffs. And there's a good chance now with Harden's injury, he will be finals MVP. And at that point, if you said, are you convinced? Yeah, at that point, I'll be convinced. Dude, the lead changes depending on the last dude who played. KD played last. You want me to put him in first? Yeah. When Kawhi won a game 7, when Kawhi won a game 7, he dropping 42 points.
And you were the only one who said he's the best in the world.
He might be right now.
I can line up, and they said Kawhi is lethal. We know he's big time. I can line up one NBA analyst after another across the globe. And no one would agree with your assertion that the best is based on the last performance you just saw.
At this moment, because of injury, too, here are the following players. LeBron was hurt. We saw it in the playoffs. AD was not AD. Harden's out now.
You talking, but you ain't making sense.
KD didn't play a full season.
You ain't making sense.
Stop me when we get to an elite player who wasn't hurt.
You just keep talking. The point is, a couple of years ago when LeBron got hurt, you sat up there and said that he wasn't the best anymore because he didn't make the playoffs and he was hurt. And we said, yo, he's hurt.
No, that's not what I said.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes,
what I said was.
Yes, you did.
No, what I said was, LeBron always has the playoffs to prove that he's the best. He will not have them this season. So you look for who will.
No,
who's going to have them to prove it.
The argument was, what we said was that he had 10 previous years. In the postseason, where he showed and established what he was.
So what about now, Stephen?
So wait a minute.
What about now? Why not LeBron? He's hurt now.
No, it's my turn. You zip it. So 10 years, this man was in the postseason establishing his greatness. What we were saying was, because he's hurt and they didn't make the playoffs, that doesn't take away from what we saw the previous 10 years.
You just said 5 seconds ago, KD is the best player in the world.
Yes.
LeBron is coming off a title. He just won the chip. So he is hurt now, and you're giving it to KD. You're doing exactly what
we
did.
got to get a commercial break. We can come back to it.
Am I not on the record saying this about KD even when LeBron was healthy?
You said KD was better than LeBron?
When KD was hurt. Yes!
Because LeBron was hurt.
No, I'm talking
when they're
about
both
when
healthy.
KD was hurt. I even said that.
Oh, well, we have to go.
Because I watch his game, unlike some people.
There's a lot of tape we need to pull up. A lot's happening.